On October 19th, 1968, Cass Elliot of the Mamas and the Papas released her solo record, Dream a Little Dream. The album would prove that she could be a standalone act in the studio. 3 days earlier in Las Vegas, she wanted to prove she could also do it live. Many artists had teamed with hotels in Vegas for legendary residencies, but Cass had made headlines when it was revealed that her shows at Caesar's Palace would net her $40,000 a week for 2 shows a week. 6 months earlier, Cass had decided to take on a crash diet to get in shape for these shows. This resulted in a startling 100-pound weight loss, but she had done more harm to her body than good. Most likely as a result of the diet, Cass developed a stomach ulcer and was suffering from throat damage. To combat this, she began drinking milk and cream. As a result, she regained 50 of her lost 100 pounds. For the remaining 3 weeks, she was put on bed rest. Meanwhile, at Caesars, preparations were being made without her in regards to the show and the live band. With only 3 days left before opening, it was planned to focus entirely on rehearsals. This didn't go as planned, with Cass being so ill that she wasn't able to make it through the very first rehearsal. The remainder of the days she spent trying to recover her voice. When opening night came, almost 1,000 people were in attendance, including Liza Minnelli, Sammy Davis Jr., and even Jimi Hendrix. Cass was still very ill and in no shape to perform, but she felt she needed to, despite objection from those backstage. The show was a disaster, and despite finishing it, her voice was too weak to be heard, and the audience was vocally displeased. She apologized at the end of the show and said that it would get better before singing Dream a Little Dream of Me. But the night was only half over, as she still had to perform a second show that went over even worse. Many got up and left before it was even over. Critics were very cruel, comparing it to the Titanic and calling it Sink Along with Cass. After the single night, the residency was canceled, and Cass returned home. In 1973, she returned to Las Vegas, this time at the Flamingo. This show was called Don't Call Me Mama Anymore, and it was a massive hit. She took the show on tour, and her career was on a well-deserved upswing. Sadly, 1 year later, she would be dead of a heart attack. Cass had originally gone to Las Vegas for a career rejuvenation, and instead found failure, and eventually redemption. Her voice, charisma, and presence would never be matched. Her story is one for every artist. If you have a gift to share, share it with as many people as you can, while you still can. The content on this channel is made possible from viewers like you. Help the channel grow by supporting me on Ko-fi, which you can find a link to below. You can also help by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you guys next time.